My name is Dr. Narges Duma from the USA. Please support our channel by liking, commenting, and subscribing. What if the key to quieting that relentless sciatica wasn't a stronger medication, but a smarter movement? A concept proven in studies where over 1,000 seniors found relief? You might be skeptical, but the data from focused mobility research, particularly work coming out of Japan, shows a pattern. Gentle, specific motions can create dramatic changes in nerve comfort for those over 60. The pivotal insight isn't just that people felt better, it's why. Relief came from addressing the root cause near the spine, not just the screaming symptoms in the leg. This reframe is vital. Reports suggest up to 40% of older adults will confront this type of nerve pain. Welcome to Winds of Thought. In the next few minutes, we'll learn 3 foundational practices designed to decompress the sciatic nerve and restore comfortable movement. Guiding us is a revered clinician with decades of experience with aging bodies. Doctor, why is this approach so critical now? Because so many are told that nerve pain is an unavoidable sentence of aging to be masked with pills. The movements we'll share demonstrate how targeted, peaceful action can soothe the nervous system itself, potentially giving back years of agile living. And the research supports this gently active path over passive management alone, correct? It does. The degree of improvement we observe often passes what pharmaceuticals alone can offer. But before we start, would you share your age and your country in the comments? Understanding our community helps us greatly. That invitation matters because so many feel they've tried all the right things, yet still live with a low hum of pain that subtly restricts their world. Most think sciatica resides in the leg because that's where the sensation shouts. But the nerve is merely a messenger. Conversation usually starts higher up and earlier. Grasping this alone can bring relief, as it clarifies why stretching the leg often provides only a temporary fix. Precisely. This misdirection leads many to seek solutions in the wrong area. Hear that frustration? It always comes back by money. Yes, and another factor is frequently overlooked after 60. In younger people, sciatica often stems from a disc issue that flares and recedes. In mature adults, it's more commonly linked to a gradual, silent narrowing of the spinal canal over years. That distinction changes our entire strategy for relief. That helps explain why a walk can feel freeing one day and agonizing the next. It also sheds light upon why many blame themselves for declining endurance. The crucial step is to remove any self-blame. The aging spine adapts uniquely, and nerve pathways become more sensitive to posture and motion. This doesn't mean decline is fixed. I observe people shortening their steps, tightening their gait, bracing without knowing. That very tension squeezes the nerve more. Once they comprehend the true mechanism, the body frequently begins to relax almost instantly. That relaxation is potent. It returns a sense of agency, transforming pain from an alarm into a signal. Sciatica is the body requesting space and calm in specific locations. When we learn where to provide that space, relief becomes a rational outcome, not a mystery. This idea of space feels profound, especially for anyone feeling trapped by discomfort. How swiftly can the body register this shift once the correct method is applied? Often faster than anticipated. Sometimes the initial sign isn't less pain, but a sensation of lightness or circulation. That's the nerve sensing it's no longer being crowded. And when that occurs, the body is prepared to respond. That moment feels significant. A doorway opens. Correct. Now, how do you guide people to safely experience that opening at home? Given all your experience, what's the very first posture you recommend to initiate that relief? I start by helping individuals feel ease before requesting any exertion. Step 1 is selecting a peaceful, supportive surface where the body can fully release. I have people lie on their back and rest their lower legs on a seat or ottoman, so knees are comfortably bent. This lets the lumbar spine release its natural arch without any strain. Focus on the breath. Let the low back gently relax toward the floor without forcing it. When it's right, there's no effort, only a gradual unloading. Very common. This posture works by reducing compression at the precise spinal segments where the sciatic nerve is often irritated in later life. As pressure lifts, circulation improves, and nerve reactivity diminishes. Many notice a warmth or gentle release traveling down the leg within minutes. That description of warmth is powerful, a tangible sign to recognize. How long is ideal here? I advise staying for 5 to 10 minutes, or longer if it brings comfort. There's no hurry. This is about letting the spine rest in a way it seldom does during waking hours. I hear from many who sit or stand for hours without this kind of true spinal reprieve. This feels like permission to surrender. Exactly. I term it a practice or position, not an exercise. It can be used daily or during flares. Over time, the body learns that ease is possible. That trust alters everything. That element of trust stands out. It's where quiet confidence reemerges. Once that confidence returns, the spine is ready for a gentle invitation. What's the next step? Yes, how we gently introduce movement without disrupting the calm we've cultivated. Sit toward the edge of a firm chair, feet flat and slightly wider than your hips. Inhale slowly. As you exhale, hinge forward from the hips, letting your hands slide down your thighs. Stop at the first sensation of a mild stretch or opening. Hold for 5 seconds. A deliberate pace is crucial. It removes any urge to rush. It is. After 5 seconds, inhale as you slowly return upright, hands sliding up. That is 1 cycle. Begin with 5 cycles, building to 10 once or twice daily, guided by your body's response. This speaks to those who think they must push further each time to progress. They needn't. The goal is ease, not depth. Each cycle simply asks the spine to open a little. Some days that opening is minor. If leg discomfort lessens, softens, or seems to retreat upward toward the back, that's a positive signal that nerve is responding. That feedback loop is empowering, clear guidance instead of confusion. It builds trust in one's own senses. Exactly. Cease immediately if pain sharpens or shoots further down. This is to calm, not provoke. Done with care, it often brings relief within minutes and builds assurance over days. Knowing when to pause seems as important as knowing when to proceed. Yes, timing also matters. Many benefit from doing this before a walk, after prolonged sitting, or during a break. It resets the spine and maintains nerve space throughout the day. That rhythm concept resonates, linking practice to daily life, not just a clinical routine. What adaptations exist for those with stiffness or balance concerns? Of course, here we slow down further. For those who feel unstable, we move to the floor or bed. One option, lie on your back and softly draw both knees towards your chest, only to a comfortable point. Holding for 15-20 seconds can create similar spinal opening without balance demands. That feels like a relief. No need to sit or stand to benefit. Yes. Another is a modified resting pose on hands and knees. From all fours, gently sit the hips back toward the heels, keeping the head relaxed. Hold for 20 seconds. Repeat 2 or 3 times. It gently opens the lower back while feeling grounded and secure. That meets people where they are. The guide must be comfort, not flexibility. Precisely. That mindset is essential. These variations let the spine open without fear, which is often what the nervous system needs most. Once that fear recedes, something shifts. The body becomes ready not just to open, but to sustain itself. That sense of sustenance feels like the missing piece. When the spine feels quieter, what's the next practice to build supportive stability? Now we help the spine maintain its new space. This is where mild core engagement matters, especially for those who feel their back falters upon standing. This builds support without strain. This makes sense. Durability changes the entire day, and stability sounds less daunting than strength. Begin lying on your back, knees bent, feet flat. Place hands lightly on your thighs. Inhale. As you exhale, gently draw your lower abdomen inward, as if drawing the navel gently down. Feeling your lower back soften toward the floor. That cue helps avoid breath holding or overdoing it. The movement is subtle. Maintain that gentle tension as you exhale again, and slowly lift your head and shoulders just a few inches, and keep the neck relaxed. Hold for 1 second, then lower as you inhale. That feels approachable, even for a sensitive back. I suggest 2 sets of 10 to 15 repetitions, resting 30 seconds between. If the neck feels any strain, support the head with your hands. If lifting shoulders is too much, just lift the head slightly while focusing on the abdominal softening. This is where people are often surprised that modest motions can shift their pain patterns. There's a pride in finding something sustainable. That pride is therapeutic. This practice teaches the body that it has internal support. Yet, one common pitfall can undo progress even with perfect practice. This is the most frequent misstep that quietly reignites pain. First, rigidly holding a perfect upright posture. Second, overdoing locking. Third, avoiding assisted tools like a cane, when such support actually reduces spinal load. When posture is relaxed, locking is broken into shorter bouts, and support is used wisely. Pain often softens and the movement feels easier. It stays with me. The moment striving turns into understanding. How do you help people carry this mindset forward, especially on tough days? I remind them that comprehension itself is progress, even on hard days. If discomfort returns, it isn't failure. It's the body asking for patience and kindness once more. That grounds everything. Let us pause for a moment on that idea. The body asking for space. This is more than a metaphor. It is a physiological reality. As we age, the natural spaces within our spinal column, the foramina through which nerves like the sciatic exit, can gradually become more narrow. This isn't necessarily a sign of something gone wrong, but a common adaptation of the spine carrying us through decades of life. The problem arises not solely from the narrowing itself, but from how our habits, our postures, our movement fears, our daily rhythms interact with that change. The nerve, bundle of delicate communication lines, becomes sensitive to pressure. It's like holding your finger in one position for a long time. At first, it's fine, but eventually, the stillness itself creates a protest. The pain down your leg is that protest, a message sent from the nerve root near your spine, asking for a shift, for a change in position, for room to breathe. This understanding liberates us from a cycle of frustration. So many people, when they feel that burning or tightening in the calf or thigh, understandably focus all their attention there. They massage, they stretch, they apply creams. And while these might offer a temporary sense of release, the core issue remains untouched, like calming a ringing smoke alarm without checking for smoke. The foundational practices we discussed today are designed to address the environment around the nerve root, to check for that smoke at its source. We are not trying to force or overpower the body's signals. Instead, we are learning to listen to them more intelligently. This shift from a mindset of fighting pain to one of creating ease is perhaps the most powerful tool. Now, let's delve deeper into the first practice, the foundational rest position. Why is this simple act of lying with legs supported so potent? Biomechanically, when you recline with your knees bent and supported, you significantly reduce the lumbar lordosis. This gently flattens the curve, creating micromillimeters of space exactly where it is most needed. This is not an exercise of strength or flexibility. It is an exercise in surrender. You are giving your spine a vacation from the constant job of holding you upright against gravity. In this state, circulation to the area improves, bringing nutrients and oxygen, while inflammatory byproducts can begin to clear. The warmth many feel is a sign of this renewed blood flow, a literal and figurative thawing of tension. Progressing from this place of rest requires mindful intention. The second practice, encouraging spinal mobility, is not about stretching your hamstrings to your limit. It is a deliberate neurocentric movement. The key is the hinging motion from the hips, not a rounding of the lower back. When you hinge forward, you are gently encouraging a gliding motion between the vertebrae in your lower back. This movement can help temporarily increase the space between them, offering a refreshing sip of space to the nerve root. The instruction to stop at the first sensation of a stretch is crucial. We are looking for the feeling of opening, not pulling. This is the nerve's opportunity to experience movement without compression. If you feel the sensation retreating from your calf toward your thigh or buttock, that is a brilliant sign. It indicates the nerve is moving more freely within its pathway, a concept sometimes called diural gliding. Doing this before a wall prepares the nerve for activity, much like gently shaking out a hose before turning on the water to ensure the flow is unobstructed. For those where sitting and hinging is challenging, the adaptations are not lesser alternatives. They are simply different keys for the same lock. Bringing your knees to your chest while lying down achieves a similar gentle traction and opening of the lower spine. The modified resting pose, from hands and knees, uses gravity in a different way to create a gentle axial elongation of the lumbar region. The critical factor in all variations is the absence of pain. Discomfort is a signal to adjust. Sharp or shooting pain is a clear command to stop. Your body's feedback is the ultimate guide, and learning to interpret it is part of the healing process. The third practice, cultivating gentle core engagement, addresses a common paradox. A spine needs both mobility and stability. The first two practices promote mindful mobility. The third builds the subtle, deep stability that protects the new space you've created. The focus here is on the transversus, abdominates, the deepest layer of abdominal muscle, which acts like a natural corset or brace around your spine. For many, this muscle has learned to be inactive, leaving the larger muscles to grip and tighten. This gentle drawing in maneuver is a relearning process. This is not a traditional crunch. The range of motion is tiny. The work is almost invisible, but profoundly important. It is the practice of building a supportive foundation from the inside out. So if your spine feels secure enough to remain relaxed and open as you go about your day. Beyond the exercises themselves, we must address the landscape of daily life, because that is where progress is either solidified or undone. The common oversights are all forms of unintentional strain. Holding a militarily upright posture can directly compress the sciatic nerve root. Think instead of a tall posture, imagine the crown of your head floating upward, allowing a sense of length, not rigidity. For an irritated nerve, 2 or 3 shorter walks are far more therapeutic than one punishing 45-minute march. Chronic pain breeds apprehension, and apprehension breeds protective tension, a vicious cycle. Each time you find ease, you chip away at that fear. You build what is called self-efficacy, the belief in your own ability to influence your well-being. This confidence is itself therapeutic. Turning to the foundational rest position is an act of kindness, not defeat. It is a reaffirmation of the partnership with your body. Remember, the goal is not a single permanent victory over pain, but the development of a skillful, compassionate relationship with your body that allows for more days of comfort, mobility, and joy. This journey is not about going back to the body you had at 40. It is about moving forward in the body you have now, intelligence, grace, and respect. You are learning its language, and in doing so, you are opening the door to a more comfortable and capable future. Please take this information not as a rigid prescription, but as an invitation to explore, to listen closely, and to discover what creating space feels like for you. If you're still with us, please let us know in the comments where you're joining from today. If this resonated, please like this video. It truly supports our channel. Wins or flight. Your experience shared in the comments becomes a valuable part of this ongoing conversation. And for a deeper dive into maintaining mobility as we age, we've selected the next video for you. Thank you for thinking with us.